I make videos once a year.
Yeah, that's right, it's your boy. In case you don't know, my last upload here was on the 13th of October 2023. Before that, my last upload was on the 13th of October 2022. I guess I didn't keep up to tradition this year, but I was always going to upload something, and before I knew it, it was the end of December, so here it is. I would say that I hope these long gaps don't kill my channel, but I mean, it was never monetized, I'm just doing this for the hell of it these days. So here's some filler content. I'm sorry, I was honestly planning something bigger, but randomly my laptop is out of commission right now, so I had to scrape something together with old files I still had access to. And then I thought, since this channel is basically a museum at this point, why not do a trip down memory lane? Here's some LEGO minifigures I've drawn since 2017 that have never been seen in a YouTube video. Basically those who were never drawn as part of a larger group or series. I'm also sure that I'm missing some images, so if the selection feels limited, that's my bad, for not preserving my old work properly. So without further ado, let's go back 7 years. For Christmas 2017, I was given a graphics tablet, and naturally, the first thing I did was draw a LEGO Barack Obama. I mean, he'd not been president for 11 months, so it wasn't very relevant, but I also did the sitting president shortly after. Who would have guessed that guy would be even more relevant 7 years later? And yeah, these are the most crude drawings I've done to this day. Don't ask me how old I was, that's sensitive info. And for reference, here is Obama and Trump redrawn 4 years later for my President's minifigure series. Also in December 2017, The Last Jedi had just come out, and Star Wars was on the brain, so I drew old Ben Kenobi and old Luke Skywalker. Luke looks very different to his official figure, I guess I wanted to make him look more accurate, who knows. Next I drew 6 Mario figures, a few months before I would remake them for their big YouTube debut. They were very simple, because of their repeated hats and overalls. I think they altogether took me a few hours max. Still better than the official LEGO. Hey, remember Big Shaq? Yeah, I guess I found him really funny back then, because I was the unfunniest guy you'll ever meet. To all those who are too young to remember, he was our Hawk Tour girl. Oh yeah, I also drew this random yellow guy, who I called the Millionaire. I guess I was planning my own numbered series, like LEGO does, you know, with like random jobs and stereotypes, but I quickly scrapped it. I must have done some of these in 2018, to be honest, unless I was incredibly overworked, but I also drew a bunch of doctors. Doctor Who was, and still is, a big part of my life, so I knew how to get to these quickly. I just copied their designs from LEGO Dimensions, because I'm not very imaginative. But hey, 13 was new. She hadn't even aired her first episode yet, so I must have done one of her first ever fan arts. I redrew 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 13 for my full Doctor Who series 3 years later. Oh, and I never did 11 or 12 for either of these, because they're actual, real, physical LEGO figures, obviously. Still working on Doctor Who stuff as we went into 2018, I also drew 3 companions, Rose, River Song, and Bill, who was the most recent companion at the time. Later I redrew Rose and River for the YouTube series, but not Bill. At least I gave her a chance back then.
Well, that's alright then!
Another set of figures I drew before I made the full series were some characters from The Dark Knight, including Batman, Bruce Wayne, Two-Face, and 3 different Jokers. I would redraw 5 of these for my full series, leaving out the Joker with no makeup, which honestly is an underrated look. I should have remade that. There's a pretty big gap here for me to make my first few YouTube videos, which are terrible, please don't look at them, including my first one ever for a series of unfortunate events. But within the same year, I remade Count Olaf. You can see how I was already getting better. Or not. Also, here's Shrek. I made Shrek 2 more times after this. Shrek. I'm just going to leave this here. Moving on to 2019, my big change was shrinking the eyes to match LEGO a bit more closely. I thought it was time for a change. For some random miscellaneous figures from this year, I made Keanu Reeves in his Cyberpunk E3 outfit, Captain America, specifically from the Avengers game that had just been revealed, and the Pokemon Incineroar. Speaking of Smash Brothers, I drew the Mii Fighters. I just thought it'd be funny to see basic avatars that are a big part of my YouTube channel drawn in the style of the other basic avatars that are a big part of my YouTube channel. Can someone say hyperfixation? Stepping into 2020, I kinda went crazy from the lockdown and drew 150 figures, which I think is my most ever from a single year. I don't think I've done 150 of anything in a single year. Most of these were made for a YouTube series, but here's some other random people. Hey, it's me, orthobiologist. I guess this is what you call a sig fig. Yeah, it's my profile picture. I'm not exactly sure where this red guy came from, but he is and always will be my alter ego. And I gave him a cool white sword, because I'm cool like that. Might as well bring up that I redrew Spider-Man's Dr. Connors to finally tie up the loose end of me accidentally giving him 2 hands in my old video, which is a sinful, sinful act. I'm so sorry. I still get comments about it to this day. It's just a running joke to me at this point. I also drew some YouTubers named George, who I was into at the time, like Memulus and Ryan George from Pitch Meeting. Fun fact, he actually saw these in my Instagram posts. Wow. 2020 also saw some set leaks from The Batman, so I drew Robert Pattinson as Batman a full 2 years before the movie even came out. Also, here's the guy from the Emoji Movie, which had been out for 3 years and was no longer funny, but it's still funny. The sexy man himself, Thanos, was my first and, to this day, only big fig. I guess I just never got around to making another one. And he was actually my first ever Instagram post. Also this year I did another Erdrick from Dragon Quest III, aka the hero, aka the guy from Smash Bros. For some reason I just got very attached to this guy. He was like my main for a while. I never even played the game. Here's Santa Claus, who I drew for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And finally here's Moss from the IT Crowd, which is one of my favourite sitcoms, and you should totally check it out, but only if you're very British like me. We officially reached the final year of me going absolutely crazy with Lego drawing. I drew 107 figures in 2021, which is still an absurd amount to be honest. Let's see what random examples I have to show here. First off, it's the return of the Joker. Yeah, I've drawn this guy so many times, maybe more than any other character. I had a whole video dedicated to him for God's sake. Here I just wanted to create a generic version, not based on any actor, comic, or adaptation, just the Joker. This guy is a random OC of mine called Fisherman, who is just a constant character throughout my life that I've drawn in so many forms. He actually originated as a Lego minifigure, so this felt especially fitting. I updated Steve from Stranger Things, whose minifigure I made for the full YouTube series always looked wrong to me, and Steve deserved better. And here's another YouTuber, Jax Films, who is the sole reason why I like the Emoji Movie, in case you thought I was being serious. Here's the guy from Squid Game. I almost made a whole series based on that show, but by the time it was popular I was already planning to take a long break from making Lego figures. Sorry! Also here's Tintin and Snowy, who are just some very nostalgic comfort characters for me, with very simple designs. Can you tell I was into Super Smash Bros? To celebrate the game coming to an end, I just made 4 of my favourite characters from the series: Captain Falcon, Young Link, King Dedede, and Shulk. A very random selection, but everyone's got their own mains. Finally for 2021, I have a bit of a confession. The whole reason this video exists is because I was able to find these pictures, either from an old backup, or from my Instagram, and neither of those contain my next 2 figures, so I'm just going to steal them from that group shot I showed you earlier. Get ready for some low-res pictures. Here's Willy Wonka and Iron Man. Yeah, look at them. I might include a link in the description to the high-res images once I get them back. You can check them out if you want to. And then it began. The great LEGO minifigure drought of 2022. I didn't make a single new figure until my Cobra Kai series in the second half of the year. And apart from that, I made just one miscellaneous figure around Halloween. Patrick Bateman. I just wanted to make up for not including him in either of my horror series, or even either of my stale memes series. Now he seems like such a shoo-in for all of these. In the year 2023, I didn't make a single figure that wasn't part of my Breaking Bad series, which I posted on YouTube. Check it out if you haven't, it's the only one that holds up. And at long last, we've entered the current year for a few more hours. I set a new record this year. In all 366 days, I made a total of 1 LEGO minifigure. At this point, it's just for old time's sake. And that figure was, drumroll please, you saw him on the thumbnail, Homelander from The Boys. I swear he's not my last ever LEGO minifigure. I will make another one, even if it's just one a year. And that is literally it. That is every single LEGO minifigure that I'm willing to show you. If you look through my entire channel and this video, that is all I have to offer. Thank you so much for watching all these years and giving me just a crazy amount of views that I really don't deserve. I can't believe it. Thank you so much. I don't know what comes next for this channel. There's a couple things that I still want to do. Here's a sneak peek. That's it, that's all you get. Maybe change the content to be less nerdy, kiddie, whatever. Maybe do some actual art. Maybe some speed drawing. Who knows? I'm gonna fall off, to be honest. This is what happens when people don't post for 2 years. But if there's any die-hard fans of this channel out there, I swear I will keep it going just for you. You know who you are. And that's about all I have to say. See you in 2025. Have a happy new year. Goodbye.